the 20th anniversary of the U.S. invasion of Iraq by looking at the imprisonment of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who's been jailed for exposing U.S. war crimes in Iraq, Afghanistan, and beyond. Julian has spent nearly 4 years locked up in the UK's notorious Belmarsh prison, often called Britain's Guantanamo. He's been held there as the U.S. government seeks his extradition to face espionage and other charges. If extradited and convicted in the U.S., Julian faces 175 years in a maximum security prison. In 2010, WikiLeaks gained international attention after publishing a trove of classified documents leaked by former U.S. Army soldier Chelsea Manning. Included were numerous accounts of war crimes in Iraq. One video released by WikiLeaks showed a U.S. helicopter gunship in Baghdad slaughtering a dozen civilians, including 2 Reuters staff. Reuters journalist, the up-and-coming photographer, videographer, 22-year-old Namir Noor Eldin, and his driver, Saeed Shema, father of 4. WikiLeaks titled the video Collateral Murder. This is an excerpt.
Let me know when you get it. Would you? Light them all up. 2 traffic, 260. Come on, fire. They're right in there. Keep shooting. Keep shooting.
What's master 2-6? What's master 2-6? We need to move time now.
All right, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
Julian Assange appeared on Democracy Now! In April 2010, a day after WikiLeaks published the Collateral Murder video.
When we first got it, we were told that it was important and that it showed the killing of journalists, but we didn't have any other context. And we spent quite some months after breaking the decryption looking closely into this, and the more we looked, the more disturbing it became. This is a sequence which has a lot of detail, and I think in some ways it covers most of the bad aspects of the aerial war in Iraq and what we must be able to infer is going on in Afghanistan. These are not bad apples. This is standard practice. You can hear it from the tones of the voices of the pilots that this is in fact another day at the office. These pilots have evidently, and gunners have evidently become so corrupted, morally corrupted by the war, that they are looking for excuses to kill.
So that's Julian Assange sitting in a Washington, D.C. studio right after he released the what they called Collateral Murder video. I later interviewed Julian in 2014 about WikiLeaks releasing the Iraq war logs. At the time, he was living inside the Ecuadorian embassy where he'd sought political asylum. We sat together there.
Iraq war logs, which we published in October 2010, which in some ways has been one of our best analytical works. We work together with not just other media organizations, but a number of statistical organizations to work out what the kill count was for Iraq, combining with other figures. And we ended up with more than 100,000 civilian casualties. In fact, 15,000 new, completely undocumented civilian kills, and documenting US involvement and approval of Iraqi torture centers within the police, and many killings of civilians at checkpoints, and some political issues and so on. And that produced a number of inquiries and has fed into cases that have been taken by Iraqis that has now ended up with an ICC filing, International Criminal Court filing, against the British military.
So that was one of several interviews I did with Julian Assange inside the Ecuadorian embassy in London when we traveled to interview him there. That was in 2014. Well, in a moment, we'll be joined by Julian's father, John Shipton, and his brother, Gabriel Shipton. They're here in the U.S. for the opening of a new documentary about John Shipton's struggle to free his son. It's titled Ithaca. This is the film's trailer.
Julian Assange is the hero of our time.
He was the darling of the left. All of a sudden, he's a puppet of Russia.
My name is John Shipton. I'm Julian Assange's father.
WikiLeaks found that Julian Assange has been arrested.
One of the most notorious and controversial figures in custody.
Assange will remain behind bars until that extradition hearing, which has been set down for the end of February.
I urge the Department of Justice to drop the charges.
The maximum jail sentence of 175 years.
Because he published the truth.
How does it feel to be the father of such a controversial figure who's well known around the world?
Was that him on the phone before? Yeah. What are you talking about on a kind of regular basis?
If Julian is extradited to the United States to face these charges, he will be the first, but not the last.
What are your worst fears? That it just collapses under the strain.
It looks as though what journalists do for a living is seen to be a criminal act.
Shit to keep it up, man.
Thank you.
I wish I had your energy. I really do.
I'm done. I mean, I'm out.
and support.
This is really truly a good question. What's at stake?